Thanks for staying with us. So before we were interrupted, what I was saying before the break was that, listen, we love to believe that we're modern. You know, the world has gone global.
Civilized.
You know, we have to do what is internationally best practice and all that. But the truth is, Nigeria, Africa, we're a whole different ball game.
We're different breeds.
Based on what we've been hearing, because we must apply it across, but as much as we don't want to accept it, we must apply the mentality. We are Nigerians. So what Nigerians are saying is that if we go by the books and speak English, you know,
impeccable English.
Sorry,
Fill the
you just deposited me, just debited my account. Please, what's the process? Who is it? If we do that, nothing will happen. But if you go there and scream down the bank,
hey,
managers will show up. The owner of the bank might even call. In fact, you slam it on Twitter, they will all show up and they will resolve your problem. Now, the question is, must it get to that level? Is that the reality of who we are? And we must face it. Yes. Because if we're saying democracy, and I'm moving this to the government, I will come to bank issue. Because we're saying democracy, rule of the law, governed by the people for the people, we must go to the banks. And somebody just raped a 5-year-old child, and we say, let's go to the court. Or somebody just impregnated, you know, or a pedophile, and we say, let's go to the courts. Are we telling ourselves that we don't need that? Some people should be blown off immediately.
No, let me
Some people should be blown, just like that child.
You see the cop that face you is backing me.
Morayo. No, I'm just saying.
Let me say this. You see, we cannot truncate the rule of fair hearing.
I've heard you.
That's why fair hearing is extremely important. Because just as you said, a 5-year-old has been raped, but it has been planted on a poor houseboy who has no trace. A person has been killed at a rally, but an innocent community have their 2 sons hanging for the death they know nothing about. Yes. So we see everybody need their day in court. Yes. So I was saying about
that's a good point.
We agree.
That's a good account about this bank and what they did to our colleague's father. Several years ago, he did a transaction to his business partners in Germany. Money never left. He lost that transaction, that deal that would have... Because this was a strong businessman. And he kept going to the bank. I paid money here. This is the evidence of payment. Where is my money? Several years after. Till the man died this year, 2021. Last year. His burial has been done.
This is wickedness.
There was nothing. And so when his daughter took it up and started to call them out online, they called for another meeting. They've been calling for meetings since. Called for another meeting. Matter wasn't resolved. He sued them. He took them to court. Their lawyers would rather cut corners, adjourn and never show up.
We have a lot of tweets. Let me take James. I'll come to you, Mariam. James, are you there? Oh, I'm so sorry for keeping you so long. Go ahead, Mariam.
Okay, so people are tagging banks, and I don't know. So let me read Toyosi's Oyetoke's on. She says, I used my dollar debit card for over a period of 4 months, and to my surprise in December, they left my account in negative balance of $18,000. When I asked them, when I asked them what was going on, they said they didn't charge me accordingly those times I was using the card. So right now, I owe this bank $18,000. She tagged the bank.
She has closed that account.
I don't know, but of course you will close it.
When we're connected to other banks,
no, because of BVN and everything.
Will link you now.
So that is what they've done.
Wow.
People are saying, somebody here says,
let me take read that. That I've been extorted many times, that I've concluded Nigerian banks are scams. I sent 20K to someone 4 years ago, but the person didn't get the money till today. I went to the bank many times for follow-up to no avail. I submitted my bank statement and the recipient's bank statement to show that the money lost in transit did not get to... It moved from me, but it did not get to destination. But nothing was done. I don't understand for years.
Is saying it's really annoying. I used ATM of another bank with another bank's card. I was debited. The machine gave a dispense error message. I went to the bank, applied for a refund, but it's more than a year now. They cannot trace where the money went. Talk more of refund.
I don't believe that.
Let me take Mike. I don't believe Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Morayo, good morning.
Morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my own was my own bank. What they've been doing is that they've been withdrawing money, taking money from my account. And what now happened was that I called them and I said, okay, why? What was the reason for all this transaction? One, they said that they are maintaining their one is for account maintenance. I told them, I said, my account is not dirty, that you want to maintain it, or my account is falling, that you want to maintain it. The other one, what is it for? They said that for them to wish me happy birthday. I told them I want to wish myself happy birthday. I will wish myself.
Nigerian bank.
Is a blue bank. That bank is blue.
That bank is blue.
Plenty blue bank that is in Ocean.
There's a
Hey, I know you know that bank. I don't want to watch that. The guy will come to that to Nigeria. They will reform my money.
We need to find out
you
for
know
NBC when we can start calling
their my money that they've taken. And in total, because I keep it based on pounds, if I exchange it to the CBN exchange rate, the total money they've taken from my bank so far is up to 40,000 naira.
Wow.
For nothing.
You have to come back.
2019, the last time I was in Nigeria. So today,
you have to come
about
back.
40 grand.
You know,
For no reason, no transaction. I don't use the banking. I don't.
Hey, no.
Mobile app. Nothing.
Wow.
I
So it's
disagree
really
on your
bad.
behalf, sir. You have to
really
come
bad.
to Nigeria.
And even if you look on this Yahoo that they are doing, go and check it.
Okay, so this is thank you, Will. Thank you, Mike. This is the third person referring to Yahoo. So we should talk on Yahoo for a second because they always say follow the money in any crime. So there's always are the Yahoo guys keeping all the money in their under their beds?
No, it's in the
if it's going to the bank, so they should be able to trace these guys.
But before we go to that, let me quickly take some messages. Idera case says all of these thieves should be apprehended and tried, and if they are culpable, get them imprisoned and make them serve with hard labor. Working on government farms to grow food for the masses. We don't have government farms. Corey Williams says that is why everybody for Niger head, they hot. Because if you know Craze, nothing will happen. Michael says 1 penny looks small, but when you take it from several millions of people, bankers become millionaires. Yeah. Usually no one has the time to complain about 1 penny missing from their account. So even that 5 naira now, we should start making noise about it. They must explain to us why you took 5 naira from my account.
Sir says the banking system is flawed. I keep getting over 500 naira monthly for SMS charge. SMS in Nigeria is 4 naira each. Mathematically, what this means is that they have sent me over 125 SMS in that month. Isn't that fraud?
A relative of mine lost their dad, and while they were sitting down discussing that he was dead, the bank blocked his account and announced his death.
Wait, the bank announced his death?
Blocked his account and announced his death.
How did they hear he had died?
They are weak.
Insiders.
Held to the money. Held on to the money.
Insiders.
The family was supposed to announce the death of a relative to bank. I don't get English.
No, insiders are
this
working.
One, I know the person. And there's this
they're not allowed to do that. That should be illegal. That should be illegal.
Happy birthday every 14th of April.
And they've been telling me happy birthday.
It's your money.
For the past 8 years, bank, and they will take money for the SMS.
It's like how children...
So when they say happy birthday, they charge us for that?
Yeah.
I don't realize they charge
I have to tell them to stop.
Yes,
I don't need
I
you.
can't tell myself happy birthday.
Please don't send me.
I didn't know they used to charge.
I never knew that.
My money.
Interesting. Let me take this call. Ayani, are you there?
Hey.
Hey, not by force.
Every April they will send me.
Hello, Ayani, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I think what is happening in Nigeria Bank is just the reflection of what is happening in the country as a whole. Because there's injustice everywhere. There's injustice everywhere. And there's nobody to even complain to. How many bandits arrested have been taken to court, have been convicted? How many Boko Haram members arrested, taken to court, and convicted? So, whom are we going to report to? But people are just tired. People are tired of this country. Because there is fraud, there is insecurity, there is no one is checking each other. Nobody is checking each other. So I think we are just living as
Thank you so much, Ayani. You see, I would like to correct because I think what Nima made a very, very valid point earlier. As much as one says, let's go crazy. But the truth is that a hardened criminal can come into the bank that wants to do illicit transactions, come in and be shouting down when he knows that what you're doing is totally wrong. And he's shouting. But you see, if you follow the process, you can then know that what he's doing is illicit transactions. So it's always good to have a process. Down. So nobody's saying we should start the culture of shouting down banks, but we're saying that the process also must be transparent and must be effective. You must know that if I call customer service, it works. And you don't just post to me and say, come back in 3 weeks, but actually make it work.
So the reason we have what we have now is because we're trying to solve the issue of jungle justice. Everybody going crazy. But now what has happened is that we have saboteurs of this process, constantly trying to undermine it so that we can go back to jungle justice time where people can just go crazy and those that do not deserve punishment get punishment, those that do not deserve, you know, appointments or glory would get it. So we need to, I think the Nigerian people, this is where we talk to ourselves, we need to protect this process because the process protects us.
Absolutely.
We should not allow people to take advantage of it.
If the process is working, so if you say come back in 2 weeks and I come back in 2 weeks and you're giving me stories and I need this money to either pay for healthcare or pay for school fees, honey, the process got to be working if you want me to keep my...
Let me take Taye to call. Good morning, Taye. Are you there?
Good morning, I'm there.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Actually, I'm a banker, so I decided I want to...
Oh, yeah, welcome to the show. Yeah. Start talking.
Okay, so about the charges people complain, even we that are bankers and bank with other banks too, some of us suffer a similar fate. So the challenge is probably CBN needs to do more on that in making people or the officials of the banks answerable to all these issues. Because sincerely, probably people are not being, the bank have not been stamped based on the complaints from customers. If an example is being made by CBN, like if people are called out from banks that so things is happening, people are being debited for reasonable charges, and they are being sanctioned, or their license is being revoked, I think people with banks will keep eyes in addressing all these issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So before we run up, it's important for us to, I'll mention a few people that would like to call out, because it's important that after all this lamentation, we said today was day of lamentation, but at some point we have to agree and bring in some leaders. So a few people would like to hear from ICPC and EFCC to start probing this activity. We'd like to hear what they're doing concerning it. The Minister of Finance herself, I'd love to speak to her. Central Bank of Nigeria, Bankers Committee of Nigeria, Senate Committee on Banks, House of Representative Committee on Banks. All of you accomplices. We want to speak to all of you on this matter. And there are a few issues that have been raised so far. Issues of counterfeit money.
Yes.
You go to the bank and you get money that's counterfeit. The fact that you have to still bring 2 people or references to just to open a bank account. Excessive bank charges. Customer service line that doesn't work. Customer service numbers that don't actually solve your problems. Transfer errors, international bank transactions, and I think
birthday messages payments.
Don't wish me happy birthday.
Don't wish us. In fact, Nigerians don't want to hear from you again. Remove it.
Can I wish myself? Why?
So those are a few things we like them to address. But let's take a few more messages before we run off.
So quickly, I wanted to say
I have a caller. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, but you have put them out there already. At the core of all of this is the CBN. We hear about their regulations without enforcement.
CBN is too far.
Every day they will say it's within 48 hours. What happened to them when they pass 48 hours? Nothing. You know, and the CBN even said the bank would then refund you money double as punishment. Yet, no enforcement. So at the core of all of this fake...
What I want a mini mobile court down the street to my bank that can quickly go and just report. That's it. I don't want it to be so far. I have to travel to Abuja, call someone in CBN. It's so far, the process. Let me just know that the bank knows that down the street, there's a place that we can go and just complain.
Let me tell you a funny, stupid
Let me take this call. Olani is holding for it. Okay. Olani, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm first time for that.
Welcome to the show.
I love all of you, and you are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Please, I want to appeal to you. The problem I have with us in this country is that we are hypocrites to ourselves. When we see the reality, we decide to face up the reality. Why is it that when they want to show the criminal, yes, they might be doing other investigations, they will show the back end of that criminal to us. And we are dealing with certain issue now that's affecting us. 3 days ago, I was talking to my wife that I withdraw money from ATM, they charge me. I transfer money to my wife, they charge me. Why is this kind of... So after the second day, I saw the message that Central Bank has made the regulation or something like that. But please, let us be mentioning the name of the banks so that they will keep tight. When, instead of us to go and consolidate, I've been to my own bank sometimes that I created a lot of nuisance. It's GT Bank. I created a lot of nuisance with them before they attend to me. So if you don't want us to be created nuisance here, let us be mentioning their name on our national TV so that they will keep tight. Or else, You want people to create another thing. I was watching the Facebook when the woman was shouting, the man was crying for deducting a lot of money from my account. Please, I want to beg you. Tell the director.
Thank you very much, Olani.
They cannot sanction you if you mention the name of the bank.
Thank you very much, Olani.
And if you have a case with the bank,
when they asked for a referral for my corporate account, I was confused. And I asked them, the very first corporate account in Nigeria, who referral? Because it's true. It is true. At that time, you open accounts. Somebody comes with their valid papers. I still don't understand the importance and relevance of a referral for that account. Because it's not like the person will be, it's not like the person is indemnifying my account or funding you.
But I really,
if it is for trace, that's why you require my house address, utility bills, and all of that.
But that one of death, I'm really concerned about it. Because the family should officially write to the bank XYZ have passed on. So how do you automatically just...
There's the next
because I could have my mother's PIN number and I want to withdraw the money. Why would you then block the account? I can't do anything.
Yeah. Someone Omati says, I paid for flight ticket for my mom years back, but the ticket was cancelled and Virgin refunded the money. Called the bank, she named the bank, to chase the money for nearly 4 weeks and nothing was done until I called a friend who works there, who helped me track the money, and then the money was refunded. And as she heard, and she was told that some of these funds are kept to the end of the year, and once you stop chasing, then they share the money.
Imagine that. Let me take the final caller.
Secret accounts.
Final call. Good morning. Are you there?
I'm there. Good morning.
Good morning. You're live.
Yeah. I'm first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate your effort.
Thank you, sir.
I pray to Almighty God to continue to strengthen your effort and accept it as an act of ibadah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. So many things have happened concerning the bank fraud and whatsoever. I have a friend that, up to this moment, I've taken one case to Federal Competition Consumer Protection Commission, and which has hereby they deducted almost 300,000 from his account. He just buy a credit of, he got like 3,000 naira on getting, that was the afternoon. On checking his balance, 300,000 was deducted. What? I forwarded a mail to the Federal Competition Consumer Protection Commission, and they invited us. And that bank, I think you're supposed to be mentioning their names for them to know how very, very false they are defrauding us. Sure. That bank is GTB, and it has happened to 2 persons, which I was handling today now. Immediately we get to the commission, we are just waiting for the bank representative. They forward 200,000 back to that person's account. Supposing we let that thing has been happening over 2 years. They did not do anything. After going there, the guy even shouted in the bank. They went to go and arrest him with their police. We wait again. They sent the 200,000. And I asked the guy, do you expect any money from other people? He said no. And that the people that sent the money is 2,000.
But the money is 300,000, so there's 200,000. Yes. Thank you, Taiwo. We're running out of time, Taiwo. We have to wrap up. I think the next organization is telecoms. That one of buying credit, but that's a different thing.
I'm watching the breakfast show about how Nigerians are being defrauded by banks with excessive bank charges. I just bought MTN 500 credit. 1,000 has hit my account. Mine not 1,000.
In fact, all right. So we have to wrap up. Any other final messages?
There are plenty of messages here. Emmanuel Osi says, the View crew, thanks for this good job you guys are doing. I hope they address these issues because the world is laughing at Nigerians. The executive, the judiciary are all corrupt. Ibuku says bank fraud is taking place everywhere globally, including here in the UK. But banks will refund money in many circumstances after through a thorough investigation to trace the origin of the fraudulent activity. Amola Jumoke says, another one happened last year and I called the bank out on Twitter and sent mails to CBN. The money was refunded within 3 days. They don't like to be embarrassed.
Exactly. Netega says, nobody is talking about the issue of being able to call back money transactions that are not legitimate, as well as making a confirmation before monies are transferred to third parties. Is a stage that we can get to using technology like this.
Umi Olubimi says, Bank has been charging me for SMS alerts that they have never sent me.
Wow.
Each time they charge on transfer above 10K, card maintenance I don't use because I live abroad, VAT on transfer to another bank. Nigerian banks are glorified scams.
All right, that's all we can take on the show. As we said earlier, we definitely would like to hear from the Minister of Finance, Central Bank of Nigeria, Bankers Committee of Nigeria, Senate Committee on Banks, House of Representative Committee on Banks, and also the EFCC, ICPC to know exactly what they're doing to probe these activities. Those will be our focus for guests coming forward in a few days. But we just have to tell Nigerians to be careful and keep your records. No matter what happens to you, save your receipts because can be done. And please, no jungle justice. Yes, I know we said it out of the Nigerianness in us.
No,
but the
like
truth
that.
is, go, an expression of how you felt.
No.
No, it was a symbolization of protest.
Sometimes when we interpret words in our local language before we speak it in English, we just use that grammar. We do it.
We die here. But you don't really need to die there. So the point is that let's follow the process, speak a lot of English, get it done.
Fill the form, come back into it.
Stay on the queue. Get back to you.
Somebody said bad language is filled.
Yeah. Fill the form.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Fill it form.